Welcome everybody to this day of celebration. My name is Craig Kennedy and I am the 15th Dean of the College of Education. The college was founded in 1908 to bring teacher education to the state of Georgia. Since then, we have flourished, grown, and matured as a college. We currently have over 4,500 students and annually graduate 1,400 individuals who go on to careers in education, mental and physical health, and human services. I would like to begin today's convocation with an introduction of our platform party. I would like to ask that each individual rise when I introduce him or her to receive our appreciation and applause. First is Dr. Ronald Bouchard, Department Head and Endowed Professor of Educational Theory and Practice and Professor of History at the University of Georgia. Dr. Bouchard will be introducing our convocation speaker. Second is Dr. Carl Glickman, Professor Emeritus of Education at UGA. We are deeply honored that Dr. Glickman could serve as our convocation speaker. Finally, we have Dr. Anne Marcotte, Department Head and Professor of Communication Sciences and Special Education. Dr. Marcotte will read the names of our graduates. All right, now let me turn to my remarks. As Dean of the College of Education, it is my distinct pleasure to preside over today's convocation ceremony. And let me begin by extending my congratulations to everybody that's here. To our graduates, today is your day and we all applaud you, class of 2013. Now, graduates, your accomplishments that we are celebrating today have been assisted by many people in your lives. Your parents, your grandparents, siblings, partners, friends, and many others. Graduates, please take a moment to thank those who have helped you during your studies at the University of Georgia. There are 230 faculty members in the 9 departments in the College of Education that have taught and mentored you. I ask everyone present to thank our faculty. We have 140 staff members in the College of Education. These individuals, often without your knowing, have been instrumental in helping you earn your degree. I ask you to thank the staff in the departments, student services, information technology, library, and many other areas. This is a day of celebration for your passion for learning and for helping others. Convocation is a time-honored ritual that marks all that you have accomplished thus far in your lives. Please make sure to enjoy this moment. It is something that occurs once in a lifetime. It is now my honor to introduce Dr. Ronald Bouchard, Department Head and Endowed Professor of Educational Theory and Practice and Professor of History. Dr. Bouchard is an eminent and respected scholar. He is trained as a social historian that has focused on teacher education for more than 3 decades. His teaching and research interests include the history of African American education, the social history of teachers and teaching, and the history of classroom discipline. He is also the 2012 recipient of the Outstanding Book Award from the History of Education Society for his publication, Schooling the Freed People, Teaching, Learning, and the Struggle for Black Freedom. Dr. Bouchard, please come to the podium to introduce our convocation speaker.
Isn't this an odd exercise? Somebody introduces somebody who then introduces somebody. Well, that's my job. And it's a joy to do it because I am that second person who gets to introduce Carl Glickman, a very dear friend, someone I have admired and known for many years. On a personal level, Carl is the person who got me to come to the University of Georgia 15 years ago. I noticed that as soon as I got here, he left and went to to Texas State University at San Marcos, and I never knew quite what the message was there, but we'll let that go for now. Carl Glickman is the nation's leading cheerleader for school reform, but he's not a fan of what passes today for school reform, the sort of top-down, bureaucratic, test-driven school change that amounts to public school abuse, probably. Carl Glickman is instead deeply committed to, an activist for, and a cheerleader of democratic school reform, the sort of reform that comes from committed teachers, concerned parents, and local communities. The sort of reform that realizes John Dewey's vision of education as the practice of democracy. Listen to just a few of the titles of his books. He has many books, puts me to shame. Those Who Dared, 5 Visionaries Who Changed American Education. Or Renewing America's Schools, a guide for school-based action. Leadership for Learning, how to help teachers succeed. What a concept. Letters to the Next President, what we can do about the real crisis in education. That book had a foreword by Bill Cosby that is just a delight to read. Or most recently, The Trembling Field, Stories of Wonder, Possibilities, and Downright Craziness. I really like that title, Carl. But it's the personal side of Carl Glickman that is the most compelling. He is an amazing teacher and an aspiring leader, and a colleague whose focus and dedication is legendary. I have time enough for just one illustration. Some years ago, Carl and a university van full of colleagues had traveled to Savannah to put on a workshop for teachers who were engaged in school improvement. As they returned from Savannah, Carl was driving, and he and his passengers were debriefing about how the workshop had gone. Carl was so engrossed in this debriefing, in this conversation, that he would absent-mindedly slow down to about 20 miles an hour, and then he would speed up to 65, and then he would slow back down, he would speed back up. His wife, Sarah, who is a wonderful character in her own right, was sitting in the very back of the van, and at a certain point she hollered forward, "Carl, pick a speed." That became a mantra among Carl's colleagues whenever they needed him to temporarily curb his creative mind and help make a practical decision. They would simply say, "Carl, pick a speed. Carl, pick a speed."
See, thank you very much. Let's see, Ron is a dear colleague and friend. Probably my greatest contribution to the University of Georgia was bringing him here. I want to thank you for that introduction. And then Dean Kennedy, I want to thank you for being our dean and for inviting me to give this presentation. This is quite a gathering. There's people up high, there's people down low, and I have to take a speed. So I'm going to work with you for a moment. I know the only thing between you and walking across the stage to be recognized is me, so I'm going to plan to be short. I remember attending previous convocations and graduations. I remember attending my own convocation and graduation, but I don't remember anything about the speaker or what the speaker had to say. And I think that's pretty typical. So when I set a goal for myself today, my goal was that you will remember something about this speech. So you have to work with me a little bit. If you think there's something I'm saying that you might remember, then you can give me a thumbs up. If you think that this is really boring and it's going nowhere, you can give me a thumb down. You don't need to text me. You don't need to I don't know what else you do. You don't need to text or sell. You just give me these nonverbal signs, and it'll tell me to do something different or better or more interesting, or just keep on going. I've served as a professor here at UGA for over 30 years, hopefully a few years longer than the length of time that you needed to complete your program requirements. I'll still be here next year, but most of you will have moved somewhere else. And what I want you to be thinking about now is, while you're in transition of graduating from this institution and wherever you may be in the future, I want to give you a couple of things to kind of wrestle your heads around. So I'll start with saying you're graduating from one of the finest public universities in the country, and according to the October Sunday New York Times, you're leaving the best college town in America. This class of 2013 is by all measures the best prepared class, whether undergraduates or graduates, in the history of our institution. If your parents or grandparents went to UGA, you might gently tell them that you are brighter, more knowledgeable, and better prepared than they were when they graduated. Now, don't rub it in, though, because they may still be paying some of your bills. You succeeded here at UGA by your own efforts only in part, as many persons, some known and others unknown to you, have contributed to your success. The title of this talk is A Two-Sided World and What You Can Do About It. So let me begin with one side of this world. How many of you have pets? Pets? How many of you have a dog? How many of you have had a dog at some time? Okay. Some people aren't sure. Maybe you had a dog that would come over occasionally and would stay for you. You're not sure. Okay. A scholarly study published in the research journal Anthrosis demonstrates the extent of human attachment to their pets. Participants in the study were given a hypothetical scenario in which a bus is hurtling out of control, bearing down on a dog and a human. Which one do you save? With responses from more than 500 people, the answer was that it depended. The participants wanted to know what kind of human was it and what kind of dog was it. Now, all of us would save a sibling, a grandparent, a close friend over a strange dog, I think. But when people considered if it was their own dog that was out on that street versus a local stranger, votes in favor of saving the dog came rolling in. And an astonishing 40% of respondents voted that they would save their dog over a foreign tourist. Now, what does a finding like this mean? I don't know. I'm not exactly sure, but I was invited to give this address, so I need to give you a hunch or something as to what I think it might mean. First, it means that if you're leaving here this weekend and you're going on vacation, your odds aren't good if you find yourself wandering in the middle of the road with a bus bearing down on you and you see a cute dog strolling by. You are toast. Secondly, it means that we are much more likely to step off the curb to save a person or dog that we are close to than a human stranger. Now, let's acknowledge those people who you definitely would save. You would get off the curb and you would save them. Friends and family, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, siblings, cousins, and other caretakers who urged you, nagged you, and made other personal and financial contributions to you. Where are you people? Where are the family members, the siblings? Would you all please stand up for a second? That's not metaphorical. I mean it, really stand up. Okay. All right, so now the graduate, you look around, these are the people you would save. Or in the lexicon of American Idol, you are saved, at least for now. Now you may sit back down. Now, there are classmates, staff, and faculty who work with you through all the social and educational challenges you faced while maneuvering through this 31,000 student academic village. So do you have friends around, and do you have faculty and staff, and you have other people here who helped you in some way during your time here at UGA? If so, just kind of make eye contact with them, and please, you people, friends and so on, please stand up. Now I know you're confused. What if I'm a friend and I'm a family member? Then you can sit up twice. You can stand up twice. So please stand up. Friends, acquaintances, faculty members, staff. Okay, you are safe. Now you may sit down. Thank you. There may be a few cantankerous people during your UGA lives that you might not dash quickly off the curb to rescue. You'd probably hope that they wouldn't be injured too greatly by the runaway bus, maybe just frightened a little bit. I was thinking, when I was putting this together, of asking you examples of who these people might be, but then I figured it would take much too long. So let me give you some examples of annoying people, like the instructor who drones on and makes you late for your next class. The pizza delivery person who delivers the pizza cold. Your roommate who uses up all the hot water in the shower. Or the person who sat next to you in introduction to education and made weird sounds. Those people, you're not quite sure if you would step off the curb right away to save them. So remember, my goal today is that you'll remember something from this convocation address. So how are we doing? You know, up, down. How are we doing? Some people aren't doing either. Up, down. Hello there. Put that newspaper down. No, I'm sorry. There's no newspaper there. Okay. So that's one side of the world. The second side of this world, of this bizarre world, is another report on people's behavior during the same period as the dog, stranger, and bus study. It was reported out by Kate Murphy in a national newspaper a few months ago, and it has to do with what is called pay it forward. Let me read parts of the report. If you place an order at a Chick-fil-A drive-thru, it's not unusual for the driver of the car in front of you to pay for your meal in the time it took to place your order on the intercom and pull around for pickup. The people ahead of you paid it forward, the cashier will tell you as she passes your food through the window. Confused, you look ahead at the car. It could be a mud-splashed monster truck, a Mercedes, or a minivan, which at this point is turning into the highway, onto the highway. The cashier giggles, you take your food, and unless your heart is rotten, you feel touched. You could chalk it up to small-town charm, but it's just as likely to happen at a Dunkin' Donuts in Detroit or a McDonald's in Fargo, North Dakota. Drive-through, paid-forward generosity is happening all across America. Pay it forward means one person repays a kindness by being kind to someone else rather than the person who is kind to him or her. Whereas paying it forward in drive-thrus used to occur maybe once or twice a year 10 years ago, now fast food operators say it happens several times every day. Sequential pay-it-forward incidents between 4 and 24 cars have been reported at Wendy's, McDonald's, Starbucks, Del Taco, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and Dunkin' Donut locations in such states as Florida, California, Texas, Louisiana, Pennsylvania, Michigan, North Carolina, Georgia, and yes, even in Alabama. Typically, though, it is one customer who acts alone. The privacy of the drive-thru makes it especially easy to pay it forward because it dispenses with any awkwardness and suspicion about motives. The payer pulls away before the next car pulls up, and the people in that car discover a gift that is impossible to refuse. Jessica Kellish, an auto parts distributor, says she does this because she wants to share her good fortune. But others tell drive-through cashiers they pay forward in gratitude to drivers who wave their car ahead of them in line, or after noticing in the rearview mirror a woman weeping into her steering wheel and wanting to make her smile. Cancer survivors have done it in appreciation of life, and new parents have done it to celebrate their baby. But more often, what people express is a desire to do something good at a time when so much else in the world seems so dishearteningly bad. It's a stark contrast to the overwhelming reports of unkindness in the news. Politicians shutting down the government, school shootings, teenage suicides, cyberbullying, slayings at a mall in Kenya, gas attacks in Syria. As one person said about paying it forward, I do it because I want to let people know that not everybody is bad. And there are nice people out there, and maybe we can turn it around. So now to my conclusion on bridging these two sides of our world. On one hand, we Americans are suspicious of strangers and would prefer to save our own dog. And on the other hand, we feel the need to pass on the kindness given us to anonymous people at fast food places. What both these cases have in common is the avoidance of contact with strangers. Yet it's strangers who have contributed so much to our lives, and we rarely think about them. For example, there are many people that I did not ask to stand up and be recognized for their contributions to your life because they're not here. The neighbors who watched you grow up, the school bus drivers who transported you as a small child to school, your primary and secondary teachers, the custodians who maintain your buildings, the police and fire persons who tried to keep you safe, the cafeteria workers who prepared your meals, the construction workers who built your roads, the farmers and the agricultural workers who processed your food, the Postal Service employees who kept you informed, and this list goes on, and they are not here. We are indebted to all the people of this state and this nation, from the poorest to the wealthiest, who paid their own dollars so that you might be educated and have an opportunity to attend this university. Remember, you're graduating from the oldest chartered public university in the country, established in 1785 by the state of Georgia to be held in public trust. That was the words, in public trust. This university was founded to provide an education to those who would, and these were the words of 1785, to provide leadership to enhancing the welfare of all. Your education at this university gives you a special responsibility. It's not as dramatic as running in front of a bus to save a stranger, and it's not as easy as gifting a Chick-fil-A. You won't make tons of money, but you'll have tons of riches by helping those that you educate to understand that there are no strangers in our land. So let me leave you with these words. Find a job, but not just a job where you go to work. Find a life, but not just a life that satisfies you, your family, and your friends. Find a way of life with others that reaffirms the greatest gift this university can give you, an education used to promote the dignity, respect, and well-being of all. As you graduate together, let me now congratulate you, the class of 2013.
Thank you, Dr. Glickman. Your scholarship and wisdom elevate, enlighten, and humor us all. And now we have the privilege of recognizing those of you who will receive your degrees this semester from the College of Education. Some of you have earned bachelor's degrees, some have earned master's degrees, others have earned specialist degrees. Many of you have qualified for initial teacher certification, qualified to apply for licensure in professional areas, or added another area of specialization to your professional credentials. Many of you have completed original research in the form of an undergraduate project, an honors project, or a master's thesis. Many of you have provided important service to the community through your service learning activities, and many of you have accomplished all of this while maintaining grade point averages high enough that you are graduating cum laude, magna cum laude, or summa cum laude. Some of you did this while working, while taking care of your children or your parents, or while blazing your own trail as the first person in your family to attend college. All of you have worked very hard for this, which is why we call it earning a degree. We are all very proud of you, and we are pleased to be able to recognize your work and your accomplishments here this afternoon. Now, we will begin the convocation procession. The graduates will approach the stage from the audience's right and be introduced in alphabetical order within each of the departments. I invite the audience to please hold your applause until all graduates have been introduced for a department. Introducing our graduates today is Dr. Ann Marcotte, Department Head and Professor of Communication Sciences and Special Education.
Our first graduates this afternoon have earned degrees in the Department of Career and Information Studies, whose workforce education faculty and whose learning, design, and technology faculty are both ranked #1 in the country in their respective areas. This department prepares undergraduates to become career and technical education teachers, while those completing graduate degrees typically assume leadership positions within the instructional technology units of school systems, governments, businesses, or industry. All are prepared in the effective use of information systems, with emphases on creativity and innovation for today's careers and for those of the future. Congratulations to everyone who has earned a degree from the Department of Career and Information Studies. Shaquila Aisha Dewan Taylor. And she's the only one, okay. Our next graduates have all earned degrees from the Department of Communication Sciences and Special Education. This department focuses its scholarship on the special needs of persons across the lifespan who benefit from different approaches to teaching, learning, or communication. Whether they are continuing on to serve as early childhood special educators, to work as special education teachers, to complete graduate studies in speech-language pathology or audiology, or to contribute to their world in other ways, all of these graduates carry with them the department's mission of helping all persons become as independent as they can be. Congratulations to everyone who has earned a degree in the Department of Communication Sciences and Special Education. Helen Naranga Abuavo. Johanna Lee Wilson. The next graduates have all earned degrees from the Department of Counseling and Human Development Services. Currently ranked #2 in the country, this department has a rich history of service as a primary state, regional, and national training site for students who pursue careers in counseling and related educational fields. The graduates who are here this afternoon have all completed highly rigorous programs in recreation and leisure studies, while other programs in the department prepare counseling psychologists, school counselors, and college student affairs administrators. Congratulations to all the graduates who have earned degrees in the Department of Counseling and Human Development Services. Maggie Elizabeth Griffin. Un Sun Kwan. Caitlin Jane McKenzie. Lauren Denise McNeil. Jamie Lynn Mitchell. Megan Marie Sheehan. Brooke Weber. And Sarah Jessica Whiting. I believe we have one graduate this afternoon from the Department of Educational Psychology. This department is composed of 4 graduate programs: Applied Cognition and Development, Gifted and Creative Education, Quantitative Methods, and School Psychology. These programs prepare professionals for careers as college teachers and university professors, educators of the gifted and creative, school psychologists, researchers, and test developers. Its programs are perennially ranked among the nation's top 20 by U.S. News & World Report, and the department is known for the quality of its outstanding graduates. Congratulations to the latest to earn a degree in the Department of Educational Psychology. Ms. April Elizabeth Smith. We come to graduates who have earned degrees from the Department of Educational Theory and Practice. These outstanding graduates are prepared for positions as teachers, teacher leaders, teacher educators, and researchers in early childhood, elementary, middle school, and social studies education. These programs routinely rank among the top 10 in the nation, according to U.S. News & World Report, and all of their graduates share the department's commitment to deepening society's understanding of the issues facing the next generation of learners and their teachers, and to fostering equity and social justice in education. Congratulations to everyone who has earned a degree from the Department of Educational Theory and Practice. Michelle Leah Allen. Jennifer Lee Baker. Natalie Catherine Baldwin. Brianna Lee Beck. Megan Ann Budzinski. Megan Elise Campbell. Mary Mika Claire Champagne. Libby Coan. Amy Elizabeth Coyle. Samantha Christine Danbury. Nicholas Wayne Dawson. Curtis Neil Dorman. Catherine Lynn Farrington. Jessica Lee French. Erica Gabrielle Glinsky. Katie Ann Grooms. Casey Elizabeth Harney. Holly Catherine Hazlitt. Merrill Ann Henton. Amberly Nicole Holloway. Kimberly Morgan Kennedy. Corey Miranda Lane. Mary Kathleen Ledford. Lindsay Joe McMichael. Megan Lee Monroe. Kimberly Nicole Morris. Caroline Marie Pascal. Aaron Daniel Paul. Hannah Danielle Smith. Polly Cameron Strange. Kinsey Elizabeth Stroop. Elizabeth Ann Weiss. Elizabeth Camille Webb. Casey Lynn Whidden. Christopher Lee Wilson. And Riley Marie Yearwood. Our next graduates have all earned degrees from the Department of Kinesiology. The mission of this department is to enhance health and well-being for people throughout the lifespan through the creation, transmission, and application of knowledge related to physical activity, exercise, and sport. The department's bachelor's, master's, and doctoral programs in exercise and sport science, health and physical education, and sport management all prepare students for careers as practitioners in allied health fields, in teaching and coaching, and in sport enterprises, and for careers as scholars and researchers in higher education, government, and industry. Congratulations to all the graduates who have earned degrees in the Department of Kinesiology. Caroline Lucy Clark. Garrett Samuel Collins. Rachel Claire Cozart. Joshua Edmonds. Alexandra K. Ely. Ashton Gregory Fannin. Erica Ann Flanagan. Richard Smith Foltz, Jr. Miles Lanier Gilbreth. Ryan William Gilbo. Michael Hendrickson. Austin Michael Harrod. Dustin Ryan Jackson. Ethan Gaynor Jackson. Bradley Scott Klug. Katie Lauren Lynn. Morgan Lynn McClymont. Chaz McCormick. Marcus Blaine McQueen. Ryan Allen Moore. Jordan Chandler Newton. Justin Michael Overton. Kyle David Page. Alexander William Parsons. Abigail R. Porterfield. Lauren Marissa Porterfield. Richard Clayton Power. Andrew Kyle Ricks. Russell Carson Suits. James Samuel Taylor III. Ariel Elaine Villafane. And Anna Watson. Alphabetically, we would come next to two departments who do not have graduates in attendance today. The first is the Department of Language and Literacy Education, whose faculty work closely with pre-kindergarten through grade 12 pre-service and in-service teachers. The overall intent of language and literacy education coursework is a focus on sustaining thoughtful and caring literacy instruction in Georgia schools. This department has no December graduates in attendance here today, but we do pause to recognize the many contributions of the Department of Language and Literacy Education. Similarly, we are pleased to be able to recognize the work of the Department of Lifelong Education, Administration, and Policy. This department contains 3 distinct programs, one in educational administration, one in adult education and organization development, and one in quantitative research methods. Again, we have no graduates from Lifelong Education, Administration, and Policy this afternoon, but the college takes pride in this department's many contributions. That brings us to our final group of graduates, who have all earned degrees from the Department of Mathematics and Science Education. These graduates are equipped with knowledge and skills to be leaders in the arenas of instruction, curriculum, assessment, and policy for mathematics and the sciences, and for learners in preschool through college settings. Given the importance of mathematics and science literacy in our society today, the faculty of the department and of the college as a whole look forward to the contributions these professionals will make through their teaching and research and service. Congratulations to everyone who has earned a degree from the Department of Mathematics and Science Education. Chan Weston Cash. Megan Elizabeth Clark. Caroline Elizabeth Clark. Mary Kathleen Crowers. Anthony Richard Kennedy. Katie Michelle Kennedy. Cassidy Lynn Morin. Andrea Joyce Riker. Benjamin Carter Roper. Cassie Lee Smith. Madeline Ray Stevens. April Nicole Thompson. And Anna Swansiger.
Thank you, Dr. Marcotte. Thank you again, families, faculty, and staff. Everyone has many reasons to be proud today. Graduates, you are now alumni of the College of Education. You are now a member of a community that includes over 59,000 living alumni from the college. Many of these individuals have gone on to great accomplishments and made important contributions to Georgia and the nation. And we expect no less from each of you. We look forward in the future to hearing with great pride about the impressive accomplishments and important contributions made by the class of 2013. Audience, it is our pleasure to present to you the class of 2013. Thank you, everyone. This concludes the Fall 2013 College of Education Convocation. Please enjoy the day with those who mean so much to you. Thank you.